What is up, guys? It is DMG here, and today we're going to be going over a League One / Calcio squad builder. Now, we have 5 Team of Season players in here, and if you missed it, we actually did a Team of Season pack opening, and we packed 4 out of our 5 Team of Seasons in this team. I think the only one that we did not pack was Kipembe. The other 4 we did manage to pack, and 2 of them were actually in 7.5k packs in those upgrade packs, and I think both of them were from League One as well. So I don't know, I think that was pretty cool. If you want to go check it out, again, it was live streamed, so it is on YouTube, so again, be sure to go check that out. We packed, again, 4 of them. And with the amount of packs that we opened, I think that itself was pretty special. So in the team, we had Lloris in goal, we had Inform Aurier, Team Season Vertonghen, Team Season Kipembe, Team Season Rulison, I believe it's pronounced, I'm not sure. In the midfield was Marquisio, Team Season Pjanic, Team Season Aouar, and in the attack was Prime Henry, 86 Douglas Costa, and then Team Season Kisa. Now overall, I will say this team was not really that great just because it had a lot of mental mistakes. For me personally, I would prefer physical mistakes over mental mistakes. So if someone misses a shot or misplaces a pass, that won't upset me as much compared to if someone doesn't run after the ball where they should be running after the ball, or someone doesn't position themselves properly. So that being said, the amount of mental mistakes in the team was very frustrating because we would have only like probably 2 or 3 solid chances a game. Now they would put them away because, you know, they're Team of Seasons. They're insane players. They have very good stats. So actually performing them, like getting good passes off and finishing goals was not really a problem. But getting to the spot where they could actually finish them or provide a pass for someone, that was the problem. Because again, we only had probably 2 or 3 solid chances a game, and you know, if you want to consistently win games, especially in the weekend league, you need to have at least 5, 6, maybe even 7 solid chances a game in order to put some goals away. So again, that being said, it was just very, very frustrating, especially with the midfield and attack. Now, the defense was actually very solid, easily my favorite part in the team, because they were consistently good, and again, no mental mistakes. If I conceded a goal, I could either put it on a fluke, so, you know, like a long shot, some, you know, bullshit EA AIDS thing, or kickoff goal or something, or I could put it on, you know, myself. But I couldn't really put it on players like 95% of the time. I couldn't point someone out and say, that was the problem there, right? So that's what I really appreciated. So Lloris in goal, I mean, he's probably one of my favorite goalkeepers now. I mean, he's no Farman or De Gea, but if you need a French goalie, you need someone to link up with Vertonghen, or you know, someone to link up with a Tottenham player, he's your man. He is absolutely fantastic. I was really happy with him. Inform Aurier at right back, I really liked him. He's better than Valencia in my opinion because he's just as, his inform is just as good as regular Valencia. But the fact that he can also jump, Valencia only has like 70 jumping and Aurier has 96. So that added ability is really, really nice because there were multiple times where Valencia gets out jumped and loses a header and I get scored on. So the fact that Aurier never lets that happen, because it's just extremely nice. Vertonghen we've talked about before. He's just a really solid center back. And then Kipembe, very similar to Vertonghen because, you know, their stats are solid. They're Team of the Season cards, so they're supposed to be, you know, solid cards. But they're no Team of the Season Chiellini, they're no Prime Desai or Maldini or anything like that. But again, what is really good about their cards is that they allow themselves to do well. They allow themselves to get tackles, they put themselves in good positions to win headers, to block shots. So again, while their stats are good but not insane, they put themselves in positions to actually perform well, which is more than I can say about the midfield or the attack. And that's not just the center backs either, that's with the entire defense. They put themselves in good positions to actually do well. And if you have players like that, it doesn't really matter how good or bad they are in terms of stats, they're just going to perform like really, really well for you, no matter what. I mean, you know, consistency could be a thing, could, you know, be an issue possibly, but I mean, their consistency was really good as well. So the fact that they just put themselves in a good spot to actually do well, and then again, because they are a Team of Seasons, they actually can make those tackles. It was just a solid defense. You know, I was really very, very, very happy with the defense overall. So then with the midfield, this is kind of where it starts to get a little bit hairy. I think I put some people in wrong positions. I put Pjanic at defensive mid, where I think he's supposed to be a center mid, but I mean, his defending stats are decent, right? His medium work rates, which for, you know, a defensive mid aren't bad. but he just kind of disappeared. It didn't really seem like he didn't really do that much. But I mean, that's at least better than what OR did. I don't know how you pronounce it, but the Leon team of season center mid, he actually hindered the team with his positioning because, you know, 90% of the time his positioning was bad. But then if he actually somehow was in a good position, he couldn't pass, he couldn't dribble, he couldn't shoot that well. His just positioning was just very, very bad overall. So it was really, really frustrating for him, you know, to just to play with. Because again, it's that fact that he didn't allow himself to do well. He didn't put himself in a good position. And then more than that, he didn't actually do well when he got in a good, you know, in a decent position. Marquisio, I don't really think he's good enough to be in like an end team. Like, you know, at this stage in FIFA, I don't think he's good enough to actually do really, really well. He's okay to kind of start out with for the first 45 minutes, but after that you might want to make a sub. But yes, he's not really good enough for an end team, I would say. And then finally for the attack, again, we might have some players in off positions because Costa and Kisa were kind of switching between center attacking mid and striker, just kind of depended on what I preferred and what the opponent was doing. So Thierry Henry we won't really talk about just because it's Thierry Henry, prime icon Thierry Henry, 93 rated. He's insane, right? So he's amazing. So like there's nothing more to really talk about for him. But then for Kisa and Costa, again, it was kind of just the fact that they didn't really allow themselves to do well. Like Kisa, what he did basically was like 90% of the time he wasn't doing well, you would want to sub him off, and then all of a sudden he pulls off this miraculous run, this beautiful pass, beautiful shot, and then you think to yourself, okay, you know what, I'll keep him in. But then after he does that miraculous thing, he goes back to being shit. And then you're saying to yourself, okay, now I really have to sub him out. But then he does this miraculous thing again. So he kind of like lies to you in a way, in the fact that he does these great things, but then that's only like 10% of the time. The other 90% of the time, he does not do well. He does not do it consistently, at least. Where, you know, there are definitely other players who can kind of do what he does, but also on a more consistent level. So, you know, Kisa, he can do well, but if he did it more consistently, he would actually be a solid player. But he doesn't do it consistently. He doesn't again just allow himself to do well. So that was the major problem for him. And then same thing for Costa, is just his positioning. He would like act like a defender and try to go and mark someone, like some opposition player. He would stand right next to defenders, so I couldn't really pass him the ball. And you know, Costa being really fast and insane on the ball, right, a very good dribbler, you want him in space so that you could get him the ball and then he can just move. He did not do that. Again, like 90% of the time, if he did get on the ball, he would be fantastic and I could finish with him, I could hit long shots with him. But it was the fact that I could not consistently get players the ball. Like, again, it was Kisa, Douglas Costa, Pjanic, OR. They just consistently put themselves in a bad spot and they consistently made themselves unavailable, right? They didn't put themselves in a good spot to actually succeed. Whereas the defense, the exact opposite. They put themselves in a good position to succeed, which is why we rarely conceded goals. And if we did, I couldn't really put it on them. I couldn't put it on a defender. I could consistently put a reason why we didn't score on the attacking players, which again, extremely frustrating. So that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. If you do have any other questions or comments, just be sure to leave them in the comments down below. But like I said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Damon G. Peace.